Hi, everyone. Welcome to our sixth community call at Talent Protocol. My name is Isabella, and me, along with the team, will be presenting some cool updates and announcements that we've been working over the past month. Let's do this. So to present a little bit, what's our agenda for today? So just to give a bit overview of this call, it's going to last like 40, 50 minutes. I mean, of course, depending on the number of questions that we receive from the community. So feel free to drop your questions on the YouTube live chat or also on our Discord. And going through our agenda. Yes. So yeah, in this first part of the call, we'll hear a bit more from Pedro Oliveira about like some updates like regarding Talent Protocol when it comes about token launch and all those things that I know you're all want to hear about. And then following product updates, Polygon launch, and now those things with Francisco Leal, growth and community updates with Felipe Macedo. Sometimes I tend to forget names, sorry for that. And then following, we'll have Q&A and also some member spotlight. So there's also like the time we'll be dropping some pop-ups for the community. So stay until the end of this call. And also there are like a lot of surprise along the way. So I'm sure we'll spend a really nice time together this afternoon in Europe or wherever you are based. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Pedro Oliveira to the virtual stage. Hi, Pedro.
Hey, how's it going? Nice intro.
Good.
And really nice that you forgot Philippe's name. I love that.
That's actually the manager, so it's really cool. Philippe, my apologies for that. I will never forget your name. But yeah,
let's keep going. On that note, into more serious things. Next slide, please. A few weeks ago, we had our core team retreat, which happened about 1 week after the Luna and Terra crash, which was an unfortunate event, but it was fortunate that our retreat was right after that, because if it was before, it would be bad in terms of planning. And essentially, we discussed change of strategy to double down on building essentially like an amazing product with Talent Protocol and really help the builders with their specific career challenges. Me personally, I'm going to shift my focus more towards product building, which I haven't been able to do it in the past few months with all the fundraising and all the token launch, which I was preparing to. So this doubling down on product essentially means that we are delaying the token launch. So after getting advice from our extended team, investors, core team, advisors, it's pretty clear no one is really up for this. The market conditions are horrible right now, and it's going to be the same for the next few months. So it's delayed. So season 2 plan, both the growth and product plans will be explained by Francisco and Felipe in a few minutes. And just to remind everyone of timelines, so season 2 will end in August this year, and season 3 will begin the month after, so in September, and will go until the end of the year. So token launch is delayed. We're doubling down on building an amazing product, and we count on everyone in this community to help us do so. Next slide, please. Just another update on some fundamental things. So on our community treasury, so following the line of not only doubling down on building, we're also increasing our frugal mindset. I know we already had this before the crash, but we're just doubling down on it. So this means that the hiring for the core team is frozen, and we're also assuming a more conservative community treasury. So on that note, actually, we were, well, part luck, part wisdom, we were able to take out all the investment we'd done on Anchor Protocol just a couple of days before the USD crashed. So that was good, I guess. Great, amazing. Next slide, please. On a more positive note, I just want to remind everyone that, well, even though we're still babies, we're now learning how to walk or crawl. And I just want to thank everyone who's been part of this process, everyone watching us, and everyone who isn't or going to watch afterwards. I mean, thank you for being part of our collective growth and our collective success. Actually, last week we had a tea nights, which in my opinion was the best one organized until today. So we were the main promoters, and it was amazing to catch up on some old faces and just to be able to thank them in person in real life. And if you want to go into more detail about what we've done so far in this year of in this first year of Talent Protocol, just click on the Twitter thread over there. Someone will share on the chat. Next slide, please. This is just proof of humanity that the team exists in real life. So after our retreat, or towards the end of our retreat, we invited some key contributors and advisors to join us. And we had some nice dinner, and the next day we went to do some karting, and it was really good to have this in real life moments. I really missed them for a long time, so it was really great. Also, congratulations to the kart race winners, which unfortunately I wasn't in the top 3. Last slide. All right, so to leave on an even more positive note, even though we froze the hiring for the core team, we're still onboarding contributors and contractors. So full stack devs, copywriters. Actually, I'm going to ask the team to share the full stack dev role, the link to the Notion on the chat. And on that note, we onboarded Pallavi and Elu as new contributors, and they will be helping us build an amazing product. And I guess that's it. I guess we're going to talk about product. Back to you, Isabella.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Yes, we've definitely, the market itself been facing like very challenging time, but it's also good for us to have this time, to reset and really focus on what's really important, which is like building an amazing product for our community. And talking about product, I would like to invite Francisco on the stage to talk a bit more like what we've been working with. I also like the Polygon launch. I know I speak a lot about the Polygon launch. It's because I'm really excited about it. But there are other things that also like the community should be really excited about. So welcome, Francisco.
Thanks, Isabella. Thanks for that intro. Hello, everyone. So in regards to product, I'm actually going to be focusing a lot on what's coming instead of what we did, because we've been running every Monday product bonfires for all our members, so feel free to join. And we've also been running some product blog updates thanks to the amazing work of Sarah. And so there's a lot of content out there on what we've been doing and what we've done. So I wanted to focus this time to focus more on what's coming after our retreat, what are our next challenges, what are we going to be working on. And so coming up, as Pedro mentioned, it's really time to build. So for instance, last month, one of the big things that we did during April and May was the races that we had going on. And those focused a lot on growth of users and not really not exactly on delivering on the proposition of becoming a better Web3 professional network. Of course, that we need users to do that, but now it's really time for us to trim down and work on this, on our mission, which is to become the better Web3 professional network in terms of products. And this also comes with a twist for the community, because we want to better understand our users, their pains, their needs, and start solving their career problems. Even if at the start that's going to be a more manual or non-scalable way, we want to really see what people need to succeed and to integrate that in our product. So what does that mean? we want to change a little bit the onboarding. So we want to make it simple for us, the team, to understand what you're looking for and how can we help. This actually means a couple of things that we've talked in the past, such as no more talent or supporter accounts. Everyone is now going to be a talent, and all that you need is an approval from someone on the core team to be able to launch your own token. But that does mean that everyone will be able to have access to the same profiles, show us your career goals, show us your challenges, show us what you want to achieve with your career. We know that we are also developing a lot of initiatives like the Level Up that I'll talk in a bit, the Talent House, and so on. And so if we better understand what you are looking for and how can we help, then I'm sure that we'll be able to deliver more and more value to you. After that, one of the key things that we believe in is that talent should be visible and everyone should have its spot on the spotlight. And so we want to find new ways to feature and highlight talent on the platform. So we've already thought about a few things on how we want to do this. And as a continued effort, we will always continue to improve and expand on the search capabilities of the platform. As we are starting to have a lot more talent, we want to make sure that you find the people that you want to be connected with. A few more things that we want to tackle and so on is the chat, for instance. So we're not exactly sure if we are meant to be a chatting platform. Probably not, but we know that it's important to connect people, right? And so that's where we want to take the chat experience. We want to make it more than a messaging experience. We want to make it more about you connecting with people like-minded, people that you want to interact with, understand your relationship with them, and how you can take your career forward from having that connection. So be mindful that the chat will go through a bunch of experiments. We also want to really iterate a lot in the coming months and expect us to be pestering the community for interviews all the time, so that we know for sure that we are building the right things. And another thing is the profile. So the profile is something that it's always on our mind. It's one of the key things that we do, which is to provide you with a Web3 place for your profile. And so we'll be doing a visual update on the profile. We've already done extensive research in terms of what a new profile should be, what a Web3 profile should be, for everyone, even people that are not Web3 and that do not want to have a token. That's fine as well. And so we'll be doing a lot of changes. Some of these are going to also be through the community badges. So this past month or 2 months, we actually released the community levels through NFTs, but those are just standing on your portfolio, and we actually want you to showcase that on your profile and other updates or badges that you might have. And another thing that's also coming are verified profiles. So we are on a mission to onboard 100 talent through interviews with the core team during the next month. And so we'll be giving out verified profiles to those that are onboarded through the team. If you already have a talent token launch, which means that you already have a profile set up, you don't need to be onboarded, but of course you might want to have a verified profile. And so if you do, reach out to us on Discord and we'll take care of that. Just be mindful that we already have a bunch of people that launch their tokens, so it might take us a bit to go through everyone, but yeah, just ping us and eventually we'll get there. And finally, this is actually a big initiative. So we all know that Talent Protocol is all about collective journeys, and so a mentorship program was the next natural step. So essentially we created this Level Up program, which is intended to help you in your career by pairing you with someone that can help you along the way, give you access to events, give you access to resources, and essentially making you part of a journey to also improve this program for others. So we want for this program to be essentially an organism that keeps evolving from the people that are part of it. So we are going to be running a 3-month pilot with a selected group of mentors and mentees just to test the water, and it's going to start on the 30th of June. So that said, besides the one-on-one mentoring sessions and a few things about the program, everything else is going to be open to anyone. So from June 30th and on, feel free to reach out to other community members, ask them if you want to pair with them and follow along and do your own mentoring team for this program. And so to signal this kickoff, we'll have our first event on the 30th of June at 4:45 GMT +1. And it's going to be great. It's going to be the kickoff of the program. And actually, Pedro Oliveira is going to be joining and giving a quick workshop around career goals so that you can be better prepared for your future, how you think about your career, and so on. So do please join us. We'll have the event later on created. It's still 1 month away, but keep engaged and keep checking it out. And I think that's it for me. Back to you, Isabel.
Thank you so much, Francisco. I'm particularly excited about the interviews that we're going to have with our community and the mentorship program as well. So I'm really, really excited. I mean, like the month has just started, and we know the workshop is going to take place on the 3rd of June. But we already have the event reminder on Discord. So please join your server, and then you can set a reminder. Now, the person that I won't forget the name will talk about community growth. Welcome, Felipe Macedo.
Thank you, Isabella. I'm sure you won't forget it again. But yeah, hello, everyone. It's good to be back live and in sync with the entire community. What I'm gonna touch on a lot of things, and some of them will be similar to what Francisco just mentioned, but actually, because the work that we do with marketing and community and growth is very intertwined with what product is. So it's good to reinforce the message. But yeah, well, let's start with with the numbers first, and just a quick overview of what happened this month. So let's start with the good things. So we had a massive growth of new users. As you can see, we grew almost 400, almost 300%. I mean, our total users is now 132,000, and most of them joined this month. And they're coming almost exclusively through referrals. And of course, the referral races that we've done in the past, and I'll explain a little bit more about why we're not doing that them anymore. They helped us a lot growing, and more important than just growing, people registering with their names and emails. Almost all of them are also connecting their wallets. So our wallet conversion rate is above 80%, meaning we have almost 110,000 wallets connected to Talent Protocol and to Celo, because I'm sure most of these users are also new users to Celo. So yeah, it's been a very good month in terms of visits, new users, and we're pretty happy about it. What we need to work and improve on is the conversion rates. So basically what people do after registering and after doing their first login. So after users create an account, most people are not investing in talent, and a lot of them are also not even filling out their profile. This is also the kind of things that why we will be doing much more one-on-one calls and interviews to understand why people are not moving forward in this journey, why they're not engaging, why they're not sharing or sharing their data. If they want to, do they want to remain anonymous, or do they just don't feel the need to do it? So yeah, as you can see on the right side, on the down is mainly kind of active supporters is pretty low compared to total amount of users. And also the TVL hasn't been growing that much. Of course, market conditions affect this, but also it's due to kind of low platform engagement numbers when compared to previous numbers. But yeah, given kind of the shift in strategy that Pedro mentioned, and also Francisco mentioned, we will stop focusing so much on user acquisition, so on getting more and more users, because like I mentioned, we have much more than we planned to have. I think I don't remember the exact number, but in the beginning of the year, we planned kind of our KPIs for this year. And I mean, if we had 20,000 users by now, that would be a success for us. Of course, we have almost 10 times that. So we will focus much more heavily now on improving these engagement and conversion rates more than acquiring more users. It's time to deliver value to these people, all these people that joined so far. Moving on, and speaking of what we're focusing on, just reinforcing what Francisco already said, the focus also from the community team and the marketing team, not only the product, will be increasing our understanding of users. So who is getting to know our community a little bit better? Who are we? What kind of people we have in our community? Why did they join Talent Protocol? What are their expectations? What are their pains and needs regarding their career? And how can we help kind of in more short term? So launching a token, of course, I think it can be life-changing to a lot of people because of what it can unlock, but it's kind of the benefits and the value are mostly long-term. And we're trying to figure out how can we provide value on a shorter time frame. And sometimes this is things that are not scalable or not very tech driven, but that's kind of how we start and how we figure out what works and what is actually needed. And the mentoring program that Francisco mentioned is a good example. So it's something that's very kind of dependent on human beings and not very technological. It can be scalable, but we're not focusing on scalability now. We're focusing on helping people. But yeah, other examples are the onboarding calls. So these onboarding calls and the calls that we do with the community will also act as a way to teach and kind of how to take the most advantage of the platform, help people kind of fill out their profiles. So giving advice on the spot. Also, two other initiatives that the community team is pushing forward soon. The opportunities is kind of giving visibility to collaboration opportunities. So this collaboration might be, you might be hiring someone, or you might be looking for a job. You might be looking for a guest for your podcast. You might be, I don't know, looking for a co-founder. You just need some kind of accountability buddy. So all these kinds of opportunities that there are a lot within our community. How can we give them more visibility so actually people find each other and people start helping each other more? We'll be rolling out that soon, and also the buddy system. So to make sure that these people that come to the platform are actually onboarded and have a community member that helps and guides them through the first steps. And why is the kind of the community team, me, Isabel and Sarah, focusing on this and not on kind of on acquisition, like I mentioned, because we want to provide more value, and the sign that we are providing more value is better engagement rate, is people spending more time in the platform, more time engaging with the community, and yeah, in the end, creating super fans that will help us kind of onboard even more people. What I'm going to focus on next is also what I've focused before is kind of the priorities and the more high-level priorities. These are things that will come kind of more short-term. Francisco again mentioned some of them, but I'm speaking of them from the community perspective. First of all, we will kill the wait list. Kill is a strong term, but we'll kill the wait list in the coming days, meaning that the platform will now be open. Anyone that wants can create their account. There won't be a distinction between talent and supporter accounts. Everyone has access to a talent profile and can have fill out all those information fields if they want to. The only thing that will be kind of curated still is kind of the ability to access the launching the token and some of these features like the mentoring program. And of course, we kind of require application and verification to make sure that people that are looking to invest in other people are investing in real humans and people that actually are, and that what they're claiming in their profile is true. So we'll start doing this kind of verification, and that's why we'll have the verified checkmark to give users the trust that the people that they are seeing is an actual person and claiming real things. But yeah, so the idea is making it more open. On another note, this is, I think we mentioned already the kind of the new merge in another community call, but those were just mock-ups. Here you can see the actual pieces. We kind of show them to the world in our retreat. These are actually photos from our retreat. We got, I think, really good feedback from a lot of people, and we were kind of, but also kind of figuring out how can we make sure that the people that are adding value to our product and community have access to this as a reward or just as a way to be closer. But it's not very easy or cheap to ship this worldwide, especially to other countries, into our community members that are further away from us. And we've only been able to give this to people that are close to us geographically. But there's a possible solution that we're thinking about, which is, and we actually have a Twitter poll going on live now. So if you move to the next slide, I mean, we'll share this and it will have a link, but if you just go on our Twitter profile, Twitter page is the most recent post. And we ask you a simple question. What do you feel about us having online store with all of the merch? Why an online store? We don't want to make money out of our merch. We don't want to profit from it at all. But by putting together a store, it will be much easier to coordinate logistics, shipping. Will be much easier for you just to select what you want and ship it to you. And yeah, so if you think this, you would like to kind of put your hands on some of this merch, and if you would kind of buy merch, let us know, and we'll put some time and effort into this, of course. And the idea, of course, the cost will be mainly to pay kind of the production and shipping costs. Like I said, we will not profit from merch. We're just trying to think of an efficient way to make sure that everyone that wants some can get some. Moving on and back to the referral race that I mentioned, just a quick note that first of all, it was also a great success, kind of these races. We did a total of 6 races. We gave away 12,000 TAL to 18 people. And I mean, the number of users that we got from these referral races was way, way more than what we expected. And also that's kind of part of the reason why we stopped doing them, because like I said, we don't want to focus too much on growing too big now if we don't have the utility and the engagement solved. So that's why kind of we decided to pause them for now, focusing on distributing, getting more value to the people that already participated. But who knows if we will bring them back or not. We just wanted for you to know why kind of we ended them. And of course, we learned a lot of things doing them. We learned the the criteria and the rules that make more sense for both for us and make it fair for the people participating. The next topic, also I'm sure you've heard it before, but is kind of our Actually, and this is a way that we are kind of delivering value to our community in the short term. So it's actually one way, a different way that we're delivering kind of our mission of kind of empowering kind of people worldwide and accelerating their careers. So Talent House, if you don't know, is about supporting high potential builders, and allow them to attend their first Web3 events or conferences, because those events can be kind of unlock a lot of things for people just starting getting into Web3. Might be there that you meet your co-founder, you might meet investors, just you get inspired by learning. And since we know that this can be life-changing for so many people, Talent House is just a program that provides grants to people that we think are worthy to kind of attend their first conferences. As we did our first one in Barcelona in April for Seller Connect. We got 70 applications and 15 winners. This was kind of the experiment, the pilot that we did. But given the success of that pilot, I mean, everyone kind of loved these talents and these winners. They were really inspiring. They also got to go on stage, and yeah, we got the Seller Foundation agreed on giving us a grant to do more talent houses and more events, which is great. Means we can continue helping kind of these talents and these fresh talents to achieve their goals. And the next talent house will be in July in Paris during EthCC. There will be a lot going on in Paris during this week, a lot of side events, a lot of conferences. So we will bring another 15 people to Paris and help them kind of take as much as possible from this week, kind of meeting people, meeting mentors, working together. And actually we will announce these winners next week on June 5th. So the people that are actually going to Paris in July. And yeah, I would just also like to share that we got almost 500 applications this time. So first house got 70 applications. Now we got almost 500. So it was very hard to choose these winners, these 15 winners, but yeah, we'll be doing more. So hopefully we can help more and more people. I mean, if you like the idea and like kind of this program, or if you're going to be in Paris in July for EthCC, let us know so you can kind of come by the house and visit and know us, the team, and more importantly, know all the talents coming from all over the world. There's people from India, I think, South Korea, the US, Argentina, Togo, Ghana. So a lot of different countries representing a true kind of global community. And speaking of community, we also wanted to highlight some of our users. This is kind of our May leaderboard. So we just want to kind of to give a shout out to, first of all, the people that supported, invested more in talent this week. So these are kind of the top 5 people that invested more in the month of May, but also the talents that received the most investment. So these are the 5 people that got more kind of support, more investment during the month of May. And yeah, congrats to them, and thanks to the people that supported them. Finally, the last thing I have for you is like it's usual, just highlighting some of the interesting content we did this month. First, on the blog, I mean, these 2 blog posts just highlight 2 partnerships we did, and we're really happy about both partnerships. First, Premios Verdes is kind of an award show for sustainability from Latin America, and Haya Gigs is also a really interesting startup in Africa. So it's very good to know that we're partnering with all parts of the world and not just Europe and the US, kind of partnering with Latin America and Africa to make sure we find talented people in those geographies is very important to us. Also kind of highlighting here a podcast episode about kind of the with only kind of female guests speaking about all things Web3 and also the perspective of women and the challenges of being a woman in Web3. Really interesting episode in my view. We're also, just as a side note, we're already recording season 2 of the podcast. We recorded half of the episodes already. And I mean, I think they are turning out amazing. This first season was also kind of a pilot, a test to see how it goes. I think this second season will be much better. We should start publishing in a month or less. So just in time for you to listen to the new episodes during your summer vacation, maybe if you're lying down at the beach. Last thing on the top left, bottom left corner, this is an article, a great article wrote by Noah Edelman from WTF Crypto. This is a newsletter that he has. It kind of breaks down and simplifies crypto to people that are curious and looking to learn. And he did a really great kind of deep dive on what Talent Protocol is. And yeah, it was good to read those words from the perspective of someone outside of the team and speaking about their experience and what they see. It's also a great read. But yeah, I think, that's it for me this month. I hope you're as excited as I am from what's coming next. And yeah, looking forward to hearing your questions.
Thank you so much. Yes, I mean, too many like things going on. I'm still processing all the information, but I mean, it's amazing that we arrived into mindsets right now that we are able to do things that don't scale, because that's the core of like community building. So actually to having the time to have the resources, to have conversations one-on-one, to have those onboarding calls, to get to know people, to get to know our future talents, and then we are able to scale as a community but also as a product. It's amazing. For me, it's particularly great like to be contributing to a project that actually has this mindset, and the team it's also like very onboarded to think of community and to work with the community and for the community. Without further ado, I would like to invite Felipe, Francisco, and Pedro on stage again, like to answer some of the questions that we got either from the YouTube live chat. So if you still got questions, please post everything there. We'll be checking everything, and hopefully we'll be able to answer all of them. To get it started, let me go back to my notes. So actually, before the Twitter post that we mentioned about the merge, also some days ago we asked the community to drop some questions. So I actually chose a question from Sopulushi that we received 100 SAL for contributing. So thank you so much to going like into Twitter and asking your questions on Discord as well. I have a question here for Francisco. Since we're expanding to multiple chains, and then probably with the time that we speak about Polygon, are we also going to receive Tau token in other blockchains apart from Celo? I believe this is talking about like once you launch a talent profile, you get.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the answer is yes. We're actually giving rewards to all the blockchains that we'll be launching, as those will be different smart contracts that have all the tokens and the staking rules that we have created. So yes, so far the tokenomics are going to stay the same. It's one of the things that we really want to figure out throughout this season, so that we can iterate over the next seasons. But for now, yes. So next week we plan to start onboarding a couple talent to Polygon. And so those talent will already have their own set of rewards for anyone that will invest in them. So for sure, there will still be rewards.
Amazing. That's great to know. And I have a question for Pedro. So you'll cover that in the beginning of the call, but probably we might have folks that join a bit later. When token?
The one token question, I love that one. Yeah, I mean, the plan was to launch the plan before the crash was to launch the token in September during ETH Lisbon. Actually, two things happened. Not only the crash happened, but ETH Lisbon also delayed the date to October. But having said that, yeah, the end of season 2, which concludes in August, and season 3 are going to fully be focused on building. I have absolutely no problem launching a token in a bear market, but not with the engagement levels we have. So the play we had before was, okay, let's keep growing, and the numbers that Philippe showed before, they were great to do a token launch if it was a bull market. And that's the problem. That small thing that is not small at all changed the entire game. So obviously we want to do it right. And I always said to everyone, this was a long run project, as it is. Like talent is for the long term. You want to bet in talent for the long term. You want to bet in Tal for the long term as well. So yeah, that doesn't mean that during season 3 we don't flexibilize. Is this even a word? We make it more flexible, the economy that we have on Talent Protocol as is. So what does this mean? You know, if you invest in a talent and you get your TAL, this means you could use that TAL to invest in someone else. Just to, within the ecosystem of Talent Protocol, just make it like, even though it's a closed economy, just make it a more flexible one. So in that sense, it also can help drive engagement forward. So I hope I shared. There's no problem having plans. So we did have a timeline for this, but we're also not stupid. When things change and conditions change drastically, if we don't adapt, then I guess all of us would be fired. So we have to adapt and perform better. That's it.
Definitely. And it's actually already answered a question from Chorad. So regarding the possibility of DeFi functions on TAL besides the listing on exchange, is that correct?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad someone asked that, because I can tell my personal story. So as you know, or if you don't, you'll know now, my max supply is almost eating the maximum, you know. So what, 10K, no, 100K tokens left, I think, of my tokens. And I actually did a pool. I know that Luis is coming up with an on-chain solution for pooling, so I still use the Web2 a solution for pooling. But anyway, I did the poll and I asked people if they wanted me to do some farming and staking on my own token on Uniswap. So I'm having a chat in the next couple of weeks. I'm bringing Francisco with me to chat with the CEO of Uniswap. Let's see what we can do there. But I think it's a beautiful story. And, you know, it's not only having staking is amazing, is what we have right now, but I feel for different talents, different economies can be built around them. So we're going to make a first test using my own token.
That's exciting. So Pedro is like overachiever, like in many aspects. In one of them, they managed to have, I think it's like the profile with most supporters at Talent Protocol. Is that correct? So yeah, so that's very exciting to know. I do have another question from Aditya. This is probably for Francisco, I believe. Does Talent Protocol has open source projects?
So it's a good question. So right now we are very much focused on building the product, which is the web app that interacts with the smart contracts and so on. And all that is open source. So, I mean, that's an open source project, I guess, because we also have bounties and people can contribute to. But I also think that there is a lot of things on the protocol side, so just around launching tokens and so on, that people can take advantage of the smart contracts that we've already built and built on top of it. So it's actually one of the things that we want to work on in the future, which is to provide better documentation and better information for anyone in the community to actually be able to build on top of what we've already done so far. So yeah, everything we do is open source. Feel free to take a look, feel free to contribute. And I'm sure that more projects around Talent Protocol will also start to come up.
Yeah, I think let me just add one thing to that, because I think it's something that we've been learning. So since the beginning that we're trying to build in public as much as possible. And what we realize is that building in public is not just being open source and having documentation public. It's how can we include people? And if you don't understand, if you cannot find things, even though they are public, it means it's harder for you to contribute. It's harder for you to know where you can help. And that is something that we're working on. So how can we make our content, our documentation, even our videos, kind of our team sync much more to the point, much more easy to digest, easy to consume, so that you actually know how can you help and where can you help. But also, I mean, it's Web3, so don't just wait sitting around for like a bounty, very well written, waiting for you. Just be proactive, reach out to us, ask us kind of what you need, tell us what you're good at, and I'm sure we can find something to do to work together on. That's most of our contributors we have now. That has been the case. People reach out to us, and then we chat and we find out if there's a match and where that match is. But yeah, so feel free to reach out to us. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
We don't bite.
Yeah, definitely. Before heading to our last questions, I'd like to pass to the next slide, because I know lots of people are asking about POAP. So then you still have time to actually now it's time that you can claim the POAP of this community call. I have a question for Philippe. So you mentioned about Talent House. So we hosted our first Talent House at Celo Connect in Barcelona. We're now hosting at ETC Week in Paris. So what's the plan in the long run? Can the community suggest conferences? Because definitely I've seen my calendar, this summer, if I want to, I can attend every week a different conference all over the world. But then we also don't have resources to scale the Talent House at this point. So can the community suggest conferences and places that we should host a Talent House?
Yes, I mean, it's the same thing that I was just mentioning. So we don't have a very detailed process on selecting, but it's if a lot of people start asking for a Talent House in a specific place, and we got some people in, where was it, Pedro? In Seoul, I think, South Korea. People saying you should have a Talent House here. For now, we're doing this one in Paris, and we have at least 2-3 more with the grant that we got from Celo. The 2 first Talent Houses that we did were in Europe, so we want to get away from Europe for the next ones to make sure that this is accessible to people all over the world. But yeah, feel free to contribute. Especially Talent House is a very organic and community-driven kind of initiative. So the people that participate in the first one are helping with this one. So there's a lot of space for help and contribution and to be involved. And we want this project to be more and more community driven. So not centralized and dependent on us. I mean, the future model might even be you kind of organizing your own Talent House in your own country. And of course, with the help and the learnings that we got now, but help us make Talent House as decentralized and distributed as possible.
Yes, I mean, I'm a big advocate of hosting a talent house in Latin America, but I'm very biased on that on that opinion. But we know that like we're all like looking forward like to host like more and talent houses all over the world. And we know like this is something that's like starting from the talent protocol team, but like hopefully in the very near future, we'll be able like to scale and actually having the community itself organizing talent houses with the support from the talent protocol team, of course. And I think we can head to the last. So I see a question here. When is the talent house winners be announced? Next week on the
June
Monday.
5th. June 5th.
Yeah, exactly. June 5th.
Just to clarify, if we already announced the winners to the winners themselves. So of course we don't want to announce them publicly before reaching out to each one of them individually, because of course, I mean, things can change. We want to confirm that people can actually attend, that they can get a visa on time to go. And sometimes people can't, so you need to go and kind of find a substitute. So, I mean, if you haven't been contacted by us through email, it's probably because you weren't selected as a winner this time. But yeah, we will announce the names on June 5th.
Amazing. Looking for, I mean, I already know, but looking forward to like to have like the public announcement. So we are heading towards the end of this call, but before that, I'd like to have, you know, like some appreciation moments. So if you could head to the next slide. And then the next one. So we are launching like this new section on our community call, which is like the member spotlight. So let's say it's kind of like a hall of fame that we show like a public appreciation like to some of our community members. And I'd like to start with Julia Camargo. So she gave us like a lot of support when it comes like to content, like writing amazing pieces like to our talent protocol blog, and also referring someone to an internship with us as well. And then Luis, which I know that's online. I already saw you, Luis. Thank you so much. So you're actually the person who we're talking about, like the snapshot and the token voting. So it's amazing to see that people like thinking beyond, you know, the platform and like checking out like new ways to also make it like even more useful what we are building. The next person, it's Noah Edel. Oh my God, I'm Edelman. Yes, thank you. So for writing about talent protocol, we republish Noah's article on also talent protocol blog, so you can definitely check it out. I think we already dropped the link on the YouTube chat, but we can do it again. And last but not least, someone who we already mentioned here, Pallavi, for being our first tester on the 101 onboarding calls that we have. So it was actually Pedro that did like this call, and then later on also like Pallavi will be joined as a contributor at Talent Protocol. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being like active and, you know, like for building Talent Protocol, like not only the product, but also this amazing community along with us. And so we probably, we can drop again the link of the POAP in case you didn't get it yet. I already secured mine, but I know that like POAPs are a really, really cool thing like for those community calls as well. And if we don't have other questions, and we're almost over time, I'd like to once again to ask to pass to the next slide. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you everyone, you know, like for sharing, for saving some time on your day to join this community call. I also have another a request for you. So we're hosting these calls once a month. We could do it once a week. If you want to do it once a week, please let us know. We're hosting those calls once a month, and most of the times we are hosting on European time zone, but actually we do prepare a lot for this community call, but we also want to have the community participating as well. So if you have any feedback, any suggestions on how we can improve, maybe we can host these calls in another platform. Maybe there are like a different kind of content that we're looking forward to hear from us. So if you have any questions, any feedback, any suggestions, actually, please don't hesitate like to reach out to us. You can reach out directly to me on Discord as well. You probably find me on a server on Discord. And yeah, let's keep this conversation going. So we saved like this 1 hour of a month, like to talk about, the things that we've been building, the things that we are looking forward to create, but also we want to have an ongoing conversation with the community. So I think I have nothing. Yeah, I think I'm like all done like for today. So once again, thank you so much, Pedro, Philippe, and Francisco for joining this call. And thank you for also like saving like some time of your day to watching this community call. The recording, in case you missed something, the recording will be available on YouTube. And once again, I hope to see you soon. And again, like follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord, and let's keep this conversation going. So have a great end of the day, beginning of the morning, wherever you're based in this world, and see you soon. Bye-bye.